At the ranch, Nikki and Victor discuss Faith feeling down about Dylan leaving. Nikki feels perhaps when she's older they'll tell her the truth, but now they must encourage her not to blame Sharon. Faith appears and relays her conversation with Sharon about moving back in with her. She misses her mom and dad, and has an idea. Paul visits Sharon, who wants to send Dylan some things that will bring him comfort. Paul counters those things belong to a man who doesn't exist anymore. He can't have anything that links him to Genoa City. Paul gives her the deed to Crimson Lights. Dylan signed it over to her. Sharon opens the envelope and looks for divorce papers. Paul says there aren't any, there was no rush. Sharon thinks it's the next logical step. She gets emotional and asks Paul to take all of Dylan's belongings. Paul is left alone to box them up, and gets choked up at a photo of them together. At the tack house, Nick and Chelsea are looking at photos when Nick notices Connor and Christian have the same dimple. Chelsea deletes it by accident. Nick has started an album for Connor in honor of Adam asking him to help praise him. Chelsea acts uncomfortable. She reflects on Connor picking up on her sadness. Nick thinks maybe they can find their way out of the sad feelings together. Nick dons a chef hat and apron. If he's cooking, he's not thinking about the things bringing him down. Chelsea is up for joining him. Suddenly, Faith arrives. Chelsea excuses herself. Faith tells Nick she's worried about her mom and wants him to make her happy again. Nick says he has dinner plans with Chelsea, who reappears. Faith asks Chelsea to reschedule to free up her father. Chelsea agrees. Once alone, Nick informs Faith she was rude to Chelsea and he isn't going to see her mother, she needs space. In Brash and Sassy's lab, Billy is in close proximity to Victoria talking about Jamaica. He moves in for a kiss, but she pulls away and asks what he's doing. Reed appears. He and Victoria argue about him being grounded. Reed storms off into the office. Billy wants to pick up where they left off, but Victoria doesn't need to deal with another immature boy. Billy gapes when Vicky tells him Reed stole her credit card and bought a membership to a porn site. Vicky clocks that it's no laughing matter. Billy feels it's normal curiosity. In the office, Reed calls his dad and tells him he needs his help. After, Victoria takes a call from JT and says, he did what? Meanwhile, Billy confronts Reed about making things worse by calling his dad. He expects a huge eruption. Vicky hollers, Reed. She reads him the riot act and says JT will be following up on him stealing her credit card. Reed is sent home. Billy suggests Vicky take the rest of the day off, and she snaps at him thinking she's uptight. He thinks she's a good mom and Reed will realize it one day. Victor arrives at Newman to find an apologetic Abby in his chair. He says it's kind of big, but suits her. Abby brings up the Fenmore''s/Jabbo deal and Victor advises her to never mention the competition in a meeting. Abby thanks him for mentoring her. Victor thinks maybe he's found the perfect student. He talks about wanting to imbue them all with business acumen and drive, but he's realized they don't need to be as ruthless as he was. He's made many mistakes and learned from them. Abby tells him he's been an amazing father. She knows she'll someday be an awesome mom and teach her kids that family matters most. Victor is very happy she's followed in his footsteps. Nikki finds Sharon at Crimson Lights and asks if she's okay. Sharon scoffs that her husband left her, of course she's not. They snark back and forth until Sharon informs her she now owns the coffee house and can have her thrown out. On the patio, Sharon says she's just tired of people asking how she is, and Nikki brings up Faith. Sharon can't be fully present for her just now. They talk about Paul getting rid of Dylan's belongings. Sharon can't handle the reminders. Soon they're verbally sparring again as Nikki notes Sharon's erratic behavior. Sharon dumps a pitcher of milk over her head and invites her to go back to hating her.